Big Ass Mouth is back on the air.
Smoke weed every day.
Got my buttons back. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Cancel that.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Okay, enough of that shit. Wow, man, my hair is getting long again. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm going to jump over here and get on the Skype thingy. Get everybody added into the call here. Mr. Vaughn, he said he's getting some heavy rain, so we'll see what's going on with him. Mr. David F. Town Baller, getting him added in here. All right, roll down the list. Gonna get Mr. Lance Musser. He's gonna be late, but I'm gonna go ahead and add him in anyway. See what's going on. Prepper Chicks is lit. Uh-oh. She must have got my texts. She just didn't bother to return the texts. So here we go. We got 3 or 4 people added in here. We'll see what happens. Good evening, Vaughn.
Hey, yo, how's everything going?
Not too shabby.
Right?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, we just got hit with rain last night and today, so we've had actually we really needed it because the ground was cracking pretty bad.
Really? Yeah. Well, you said your garden's doing good, so that's a good thing. I think I'm going to add.
Oh, yeah, the corn's about probably, I'd say, maybe 6-7 inches tall, and the beans are about 8.
Nice.
Yeah, they just jumped right out of the ground. That was the early stuff that I put in later on after the other garden.
I haven't even had a chance to get a call started yet, or to get a garden started yet. What the hell does this say join call for? Are you still there, Vaughn?
Yeah, I'm here.
What the hell?
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, okay. I got you.
There comes Prepper Chick.
What in the hell is going on with my Skype?
Don't know.
It's not showing that I have any call open right now.
Really? Well, Prepper Chick just came in.
What in the fuck is going on? Sorry about that, people. My Skype just completely shut off all by itself. It just completely dropped everybody all by itself. I have no idea why. All of a sudden it showed that I didn't have a call, but I was still talking to Vaughn, and then it went blanky blank. So hopefully I'm still broadcasting. It shows me still broadcasting. Everybody give me a thumbs up or something in the room and let me know that everything's still going on there. I see Lori is on the line. I see David's on the line.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hello. What's up? Hello. How you feeling today, David?
I felt better, actually, but I'm all right.
Doing all right? That's good. That's good.
Right. Had a scare last night. I thought a tornado hit my house. But, I don't know. Did you see that video I put on Facebook?
Yeah, I did. All the lightning and shit in the background, the transformer burning. That was pretty scary.
That was like the second one that blew. I didn't even get the first one on tape. But, I was out there watching this come in, and it came in from kind of the southwest.
Wow.
And you can see the clouds are spinning. I mean, there was all kinds of tornadoes. This was basically like the top of, we had a small outbreak up here. It wasn't massive, but you could see it swirling. And then it hit my backyard, and all of a sudden the rain just started spinning. And it just started getting darker and darker. And I told my wife and kids headed for the basement. And I'm sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden these limbs just come flying. Shit comes flying over the fence, man. But it was a weird wind. It was cyclonic, but yet it wasn't a straight line winds. So it was kind of hit and miss on what it blew around.
Wow. That's scary shit, man.
But it blew bark off of trees. It snapped limbs that had to be at least 4 to 5 inches thick. It ripped this big piece of plexiglass I got covering up one of my window wells, and that stuff's pretty thick, probably 1/4 inch thick plexiglass. It's heavy. It picked it straight up and threw it in my neighbor's backyard.
Damn.
And that's in 10 years. I've never seen that happen here with that.
Yeah,
And so, like I said, when I was standing in the backyard, I seen it swirling, and then that's when the transformers started blowing, and you could just see the town just going. Woo, woo. I mean, you could just feel the vibration in the air from these transformers blowing.
wow. Yeah, I lived in Tornado Alley most of my life, so and Lori does too. I imagine she's seen and heard all kinds of shit like that herself, man.
But
it's
it
scary as
blew-
fuck, dude. It'll make your butt pucker quicker than hell.
It blew our power. Our power first went down, then it started pulsating because it was on the second transformer. My wife's going through unplugging shit because, you know, that's bad for your appliances when it's pulsating like that. We're unplugging everything, computers, everything, man. But what we forgot our DVR, and it blew the hard drive out of our DVR. So we got a new one coming on Sunday they're coming to put in. But that was the only thing we've seen that got blown up. But if it would have blew computers. I mean, it was just a pulsating in the house. The lights were just that's all I can say. I've never seen it before.
Wow.
But the rain was coming down. I mean, it was a rain wrap. I think if there'd been a little bit, if the storm wouldn't have been moving so fast and there was a little bit more turn in the atmosphere, my house wouldn't be here right now. I know that for a fact, the way that hit, man. And this whole neighbor side of this town wouldn't be here right now. We dodged a scary bullet last night.
Wow. About you, Lori? You guys been getting some weather up through there too, yeah? It's springtime.
Oh, yeah. Well, right now we are. But I'm still stuck on that pulsating. Anyhow.
It was pulsating though, for you know.
you could probably feel the
transformer blew, and then it was on the backup one, and then that one just blew.
Feel the pressure wave come across. Watch the town go dim. Yeah. It's kind of like
I can remember we used to have oil tanks blow up in Ohio.
Nice.
That were quite stimulating. Lightning would hit them, and it was bad.
Yeah, that tends to get bad. Oh, shit. What are we going to talk about today, David? You got a big, thick stack of stuff there. Vaughn, I added you back in, brother, if you're listening to the show still, or if you're in the room or whatever. I typed it to you, and I'm telling you now. So I added you back in. Just grab yourself back into the call. I guess Lance will be a little bit. He locked his keys in his car like a typical sheep. Guess they told him to do that on CNN or something.
So what do you think? What do you think about that shooting today? Well, which one? You had the big one over in the West Coast too, but what do you think about those congressmen getting shot?
There was one, there was a shooting in Virginia where somebody took some pot shots at some softball players on a that happened to be congressmen and senators and stuff. Then they had the shooting at UPS. I think that was the one out on the West Coast, right? The 2 people killed out there at UPS, and then I think 2 days ago, a couple of inmates got loose in Kentucky and shot and killed 2 guards. So, yeah, the gunplay's out there. As soon as the shit happened out there in D.C., they tabled the Hearing Protection Act. So that put everybody getting their silencers for their 22s and stuff to go plinking in the backyard. That put all that on hold. So it was typical, man. There's some things about that doesn't ring true to me, but I'm going to give it some time and let it pan out, you know. Why would a 66-year-old dude from some bumfuck town in Illinois run all the way to D.C. to pot shot it? You know, why didn't he go to the state capitol? Why didn't he go down to downtown Chicago? Or, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me, man. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, you know, I was just reading the story that Yahoo had up before I came on here, and they were saying, you know, they had all these different interviews with, like, his wife.
Right.
And she said, yeah, he's been living down there for the last 3 months since March. And that's all she said. And
in D.C. He moved to D.C.
Yeah, they said he moved there 3 months. So he's been living out of his van for 3 months over about 8, or by that baseball stadium or something like that.
He must have got the telekinetic wave from Operation Monarch 3 months ago and decided to pack up.
They said that basically he ran a home inspection business and he filed for filed for bankruptcy and gave it all up. He couldn't pay for it, so he just let it go. And they were after. He had a bunch of different minor violations and stuff like parking tickets and stuff like that. But every case, it's weird. Everything that he's been in trouble with, which was a lot of little things that he got away with, they let each one of the cases go because everyone was dismissed. Not one they got him for. But like I said, I don't know. It's weird, man. It sounds like he might have. They try to throw in his Facebook saying, well, we went through his post and there's some in there saying Trump should be impeached and stuff against the Republican. And so we know he was a extremist just because he wants Trump impeached or an extremist.
Well, you didn't call him a Marine.
He was a Bernie supporter. And then
Yeah,
he
he
worked,
was
and
a
then
Bernie
after that,
supporter.
and then after that, he worked for the Hillary campaign too, or something. I can't remember what exactly the laydown was for, his political excursions, I guess, if you will. But yeah, he was I don't know, complete douchebag, and to run around D.C. with an AR-15 in your truck, I don't think that's allowed. I just don't think that's allowed. I don't think any guns are allowed in D.C. I remember. Huh? Go ahead, Vaughn.
I say, how did he get that if he's not? You're not allowed to have an AR-15 in fucking Illinois. How did he get that?
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
I thought there was gun regulations there. If you had a shotgun, hell, you better have damn permission from the governor to own it.
Oh, it's
No.
relaxed quite a bit in Illinois lately.
No, it's been that way for years. You could own long guns and carbines, and yeah, there wasn't any kind of restrictions like that. But it was not California. Illinois is not California. It's not, every place isn't Chicago, brother. There's a lot of other places in Illinois besides Chicago. Chicago's got some pretty bad restrictions, but downstate, dude, they fucking hunt deer. There's open season with long gun, shotgun. My dad had all kinds of rifles and stuff in Illinois. You can buy an AR-15 in Illinois. You don't have to get a special permit from God.
Well,
When it first came out, they said it was an M1.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it was. 308. It sounded like there was some 308 banging back at him. So evidently, the congressman had a really good security detail.
Sounded like one heck of a shootout the way they put it, man.
Well, they said that they took him down with handguns.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get.
I listened to the fucking audio, and those were 308 rifles that were going off back in his direction. They were fucking loud.
Yeah, I never heard no pistol.
Nope.
I heard a lot of rifle fire, long rifles.
Yep.
Well, they said some of those guys in that dugout, they didn't, when they started hearing fire come from behind them, they said that they were thinking it might have been another shooter, and they were yelling at the cop if he was a friendly, and the cop stuck his head in there and said, yeah, I'm one of your guys, and he was part of the detail, and he kept shooting.
Right.
And one of them got shot in front of one of the guys.
They said that the head honcho dude, whatever his name is, he's still in serious condition. So is one of the other aides or whatever. One of the. Here's something else that I found really, really interesting about this. Let me get a hold of my Twitter thingy, and so I'm not just speaking out of the side of my face. I want to get some factual information up here. Doody. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to show this to you guys. I don't know. I tweeted out a video earlier today. Stop. That actually was some dude that was walking his dog past the ball field here, and happened to catch it all on video. So
Yeah, you could count. If you listen to that guy must have went through 2 or 3 clips. I mean, magazines, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Sure. Was me fire. Many rounds went off.
So here's this. Let me get it pulled up a little bit bigger here, so you guys don't have any trouble seeing it. How's that? That looks pretty good, huh? Get over. There we go. All right. You guys on the microphone. Shh. I'll be right back.
Back here live in Washington, D.C., I'm Brooke Baldwin. The big question is why? Why did a 66-year-old man with obviously some serious grievances come down from Illinois here to Washington, D.C. and try to shoot up these Republicans practicing baseball this morning? We don't know the answer to that yet. What we do have now is a closer picture of what exactly happened. I'm going to show some video to you. It was shot by Noah Nathan, who happened to be passing by this ballpark early this morning. Roll it.
That's 5.56. Okay. Everybody, so just so you know, that's what 5.56 sounds like from a distance. That might have been a handgun. That's 308 right there. Either that or they're shooting right over that cat's shoulder. You know.
Do we know where he's at? Do we know where he's at?
He's behind home plate. You call 911?
I assume people have been calling 911 already.
He's behind home plate, that guy said. So he was actually shooting through the fence at these people, I guess. Yeah, through the backstop. That sounds like a 308 to me, man. I don't know. That's a pretty heavy report.
Hey, is that guy okay out there? The guy, that guy been shot. Is he okay? Is anybody talking to him?
Yeah, he's behind the bunker. We have shot fire. Shot fire. Right now. Stay down! Stay down! Stay down! Stay down! Behind the window. There we go.
Hearing all.
Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to play that one. I don't need to hear CNN's gibbly garb. So, okay, everybody on the mic, come back to life for me. I want to get everybody's take on what you just saw and what you just heard. Lori, let's start with you.
I'm like you. I heard the heavy weapon, the long rifle.
Man, Lori,
And
your
then
voice changed.
Then, yeah, and then I heard it sounded like either a heavy sidearm, a 45, or at least a high caliber 40 caliber or something, because it had a big recoil to it too. You could hear the echo.
Yeah,
So I'm
report
not
was
really
pretty
sure
loud.
what went on there, but I guarantee you there was a lot of bullets flying.
All right. Lori, now you.
I was reading in the chat room. I agree with Ricky. I don't think it was staged. I think maybe the shooter might have been sent for a purpose. I'd like to find out what this guy says his reason was behind this. But I find it interesting there were multiple, in my opinion, firearms there being shot back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely. The one thing that I want to bring to everybody's attention is that the names of the people that were involved in this incident, I want to get, where in the fuck is the article, man?
Yeah, the one was a Republican whip from Louisiana, wasn't he?
Yeah. I want to get to an article that has all their names in it, though. Come on.
Well,
come on.
here's a question though, and I could be completely off base here, but it's Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Wednesday at 9:00 in the morning. Who the fuck
Right.
practices softball then?
I don't know.
Well, they came up to do that. I mean, they're going to put on a what's it called, a rally or contribution drive or something, and they're practicing softball. Well, somebody got wind of that shit. A 66-year-old, and decided to go down there and do some headhunting. So, like you said, somebody got information that shouldn't have been there, or maybe it was public. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so the head honcho congressman that was involved in this was Stephen Scalise. Okay, SS. There was another guy. What was his name? Max. Somebody, the assistant or whatever. I know there was a couple other people that were killed or that were shot in there. Let's see. Crystal Griner was shot. I think she was a cop. David Bailey was shot. He was a cop.
Shot by who though?
Well, they were hit in the crossfire. I don't know. I don't know if the dude with the 223 hit him or you know how it went down. But there was another Scalise, and there was another guy that was some assistant to him. Man, I can't remember what his name is now. But it's an MM name. His name is Max something, or you know, but both of his names begin with an M. So you got two S's for Stephen Scalise. You got two M's for this other cat, the MM guy, and then the guy that filmed that video that we just watched, his name was Noah Nathan. NN. That when I saw those three things, it just kind of set a little flag off in my head, you know, the duality thing that the elite always get away with and you know try to put off in their videos and whatever. But you know that's just me. That's just me. You know. I'm kind of getting that way now that I look at everything and out of the side of my face anymore, you know? So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there for everybody. Let's get some more input. What do you guys think? What about this cat from Illinois? What do you think got up under his ass?
Donald Trump, according to his Facebook post.
But he wasn't shooting at Donald Trump.
That's
he
what he
shooting at a bunch of
said.
He was shooting
nobodies.
at Congress. Well, they're not nobodies. They're just a bunch of fucking well-paid
Well,
dumbasses.
he belonged, they said, to a couple Facebook groups that had to do against with destroying the Republican Party.
Right.
You know, basically, you had socialist views like Bernie Sanders. Basically, you know, they're painting them here. You know, this is a dangerous thing because as fragile as our nation is right now with this stuff, since you know Obama, Trump, all this crap, and Hillary's been going on. For this to go down, you know, because I was looking at some groups that I post news in and stuff, and I was reading different threads in there that people had wrote about this, and there was actually some psychos in there on the right, on the Republican side, saying that this is fucking bullshit. The fucking lefties, the Democrats, the snowflakes are targeting us now. Now it's our time to fire back.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is dangerous. This is the first thing I thought when this happened, that this dude, after they said, oh, he had all this anti-Trump stuff and anti-Republican stuff, you know, this could set off a shitstorm if people let it.
Honey, they won a Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. I put out a bunch of articles about that shit too, so we'll get into that here just directly.
No, your hard right Republicans, you're all right, are already blaming snowflakes and everybody else for this, and saying,
Everybody,
you know,
it's the entire blame game, man. Everybody's blaming everybody else for every fucking thing.
Yep.
Nobody takes responsibility for anything anymore.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Why would this man that's been there for 3 months, why would he not target the one he's pissed off at? Why would he target this other feller? That confuses me, because if you're going to go down, you're going to die for it. Do what you intended. So I'm not really buying into his intention. Did it come out of nowhere and he just decided to do this that day, today? No, something really smells.
Yep. All right. That's the one thing I wanted to get out, you know, on that story. So, David, let's jump over to your other stack of stuff? Because I'm sure there's other shit going on the planet besides Scalise getting a shot in the ass.
Well, it got announced tonight. Trump is being officially pro for possible obstruction of justice now.
I hope he brought some K White.
They got it announced tonight.
They've been throwing everything they could throw at the motherfucker, waiting for something to stick. I guess they finally found a judge to bite the bait. So, we'll see where that goes, man. All right.
But all that's interesting. But yeah, what else? I don't know. You want to talk about Mideast stuff? Or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever you got on your stack of stuff, brother. We don't have to limit it to your overseas abilities. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I watched that Jeff Sessions thing yesterday.
That guy needs to be punched in the face.
Well, let me sidebar here a story that came out yesterday that I warned everybody about before right when Trump put him in. Is he went to the main people there in Congress and the House, and he wants permission to start closing down dispensaries, marijuana, medical marijuana, you name it. He wants to come after it and
federally prosecute them all.
They're fixing to let him do it. They're fixing to give him. He wants so much amount of money to crack down on marijuana.
Well, you know what? The states can throw the federal government out anytime they want. All they got to do is take over their own roads and all that shit. That's all they got to do. And Denver, you people got enough money now. Set a precedent. Set a precedent.
Well, they better.
Tell the federal government to get the fuck out of Colorado and start your own deal. I mean, you know what I mean? Start your own deal. We are the country of Colorado.
They better go and turn away from the government on this one because there's too much money tied up in this. The ones that have it legal, they're just, they've taken the step forward, and now the federal government's going to step in and change it. Hell no! I tell them to take a fucking hike.
They see what good it's doing to people, and they don't want that.
Yep.
They see that everybody's getting off of pharmaceuticals and going to smoke pot, and they don't want it because they don't have control of pot yet. Monsanto's trying like a motherfucker, so's Bayer, but they don't have it yet. So that's why they're pissed. They want it illegal until they have a patent on the drug. Anyway, like I ever tell everybody every time we talk about marijuana, just live your life the way you want to live it, man. Go do what makes you healthy, and, consequences be damned.
Amen.
Okie dokie. Next story.
I watched him yesterday when he was speaking, and like I said.
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep talking about that, dumbass.
When they were talking to him about Comey and everything like this, and he basically backed Comey's story up. That Trump did tell Comey to stay in there and Sessions and them to walk out, but he tried to play it off that Comey wasn't too concerned about it, more than what Comey said he was when he got interviewed the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Sessions, that old man, he wouldn't answer any of the questions hardly. And, he's a Trump front man. He was one of the first ones to ever support Trump, in Washington. And so he's Trump's pretty much last front line. If he was ever to move out of the way, Trump would be in trouble.
Who's that?
He recused himself from the Russia investigation.
Oh, Sessions. Okay, good.
Yeah, Sessions. And he recused himself from the Russia investigation. He's letting the Attorney General there, Rosenstein, handle all this.
Rosenstein. There's a $5 handle for you right there, boy. Rosenstein.
Sounds like something from the mafia days, man. That works as an Attorney General.
This is my little Jew buddy, Rosenstein.
But anyway,
he's a lawyer, by the
way. Sessions wouldn't really answer anything. He just kept saying, I don't recollect. I can't recollect. That's all he kept saying. He was completely stonewalling, man. And a couple of those people in that congressional hearing just went off on him, and Sessions started yelling. It was like watching a real-life House of Cards, man. It's actually better than the series.
There was a meme on Facebook that said 99.95% of the pot smokers out there have a better memory than Jeff Sessions.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. He's the one that said he's the one that comes from the South there. I don't know where, North Carolina, Georgia. You can barely understand him.
He fell out
And
of
he
his
said,
mother's ass.
I supported the KKK till I found out they smoked marijuana.
He fell out of his mother's ass.
He even stated that publicly. He supported that. He's a racist, a big racist, which whatever. But I mean, for him to say, "Hey, I'm going to put racism's better than smoking."
Eats babies, dude. He's one of the baby eating mother. Yeah, fuck him. Can we move on to another story? Or are you still pissed at him? Go ahead. Sorry.
I think these old cocksuckers in Congress, and this is where I will agree with Trump on this, that they all need fucking term limits, man. Some of these fuckers have been in since the 70s.
Yep. So I saw another one today. I saw another post on Facebook today that said if there was term limits put in for a 12-year term limit, that over 230 of them wouldn't be eligible to be in Congress anymore because they've been there longer than 12 years. So that's stupid, man.
Yeah, Sessions been there since like Jimmy Carter. What's up, big boy? And so he's senile, man. Just like John McCain and a bunch of other ones. They're all fucking senile. None of them know what the fuck they're saying.
They've been eating too many babies, dude. They've been eating too many babies. Now it's turning around on them. It's coming back.
Not one of them represent us anymore. They're all putting party over country. And to me, that's the most despicable thing you can do as a congressman or senator is put party over country, man. That's not patriotism in my book, and you're supposed to be one of the biggest patriots there is.
I gotta let my dogs out. I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, what do you think about that, Lori and old Marine? Do you think they've been putting party over country way too long?
Well, go ahead. Okay, let me say what I was saying. Then you may not want to. Dave, here's how I look at it. If you can't get a hard-on anymore, get the fuck out of politics. Go home. These men have been out of bed. That's why they're crazy. Viagra won't even help them. Eating babies won't help them. Get them the fuck out of here. That's what I got to say. Get them out of here.
But do you think there's party over country?
Definitely.
Well, yeah, but it's the big club. It's the big party. They don't give a shit about...
Yeah, they're all one party. It's
Yeah,
not like they're separate. There's no Republican. There's no Democrat.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about
versus
that.
Them.
Right. It's
And
the
us
haves
is
and the
questionable
have-nots.
because they're trying to divide us.
Well, it's the haves and the have-nots. And they want to thin the herd, man. You know, the more big club members that die off or get killed off or whatever the fuck happens to them, go to prison, whatever, the more money that the rich got to spread amongst themselves. You know, that's the way they think. You got to think like these people in order to be able to defeat these people.
You know, the way I said, I don't like Trump personally. That's just me. I don't agree with his views, and I'm not a Hillary supporter. I'm not really a Democrat or Republican. I'm kind of just out there. But
I don't like politicians. Period. Anybody that thinks that they know more than I do and can run my life better than I can go to fuck.
All I know is that, they can try to railroad Trump here or whatever, and I think he's brought on a lot of shit himself, but he's really been quiet on Twitter lately. Someone got to him to tell him to settle down because he hasn't been tweeting near as much.
Well, didn't he tweet out today that the cat that was shot at everybody down there in the ballpark got killed? Didn't Trump tweet that? And that was false? That was wrong? He's not dead? Isn't that what I heard?
Trump said at his press conference that he was dead. I watched him.
I thought he tweeted it out too before the press conference. I thought he sent it out in a tweet.
Oh, I don't know. He might have. I didn't see.
I don't know. You guys in the chat room know you were talking about it earlier. Let us know what's the dealio on that.
But if he was to be taken out, which wouldn't matter to me, who are we going to have next? Pence, Mr. Ultra Conservative.
Oh,
Then what's behind Pence? Paul Ryan. There's no one good.
Well,
we're screwed.
But if they prosecute Trump, and they take him out that way, it doesn't go to Pence, does it? It goes to a general election, doesn't it?
No, I think it goes to Pence. But the deal is Pence is getting caught up in this too.
Yeah.
And so if Pence goes down, then there's Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan's the third in line as Speaker of the House. You definitely don't want him as president. It just gets more far right as you go down the line.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't know. It's all a joke, man. Like I said, I'm a big House of Cards fan on Netflix, and you watch that show and you see how big of a Hollywood production goes on in D.C., man. It's just one big reality show. You know, like I said, Trump's just added more entertainment to it, if anything, because I really didn't care about politics until Trump came in.
Right.
And it ain't because of him. It's just he makes it more entertaining. You know, I tried to stay away from it for the whole 10 years I've been doing my in-game stuff. I've tried to stay away from politics, but in the end, it all goes together. But I don't know. It's just, to me, it's so phony, man, and fake. It just makes me sick.
Hey, Dave, what do you got? What do you got on this incident? To just jump in here, I posted a video where they were arresting people who'd been here like 30, 40 years illegally up there in Michigan, and they were bitching like crybabies. But they, that 30, 40 years they hadn't legalized themselves. Yet I hear on another deal that there's going to be 100,000 more of these immigrants coming, illegals, into this country by September under Trump.
Yeah.
Is Trump allowing this? I mean, I'm confused here.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's allowing it because he can't get his immigration policy passed. He can't get this Muslim ban.
He just went over and shook the fuck out of the Saudis, man. Well, okay, this is all theater, dude. He's playing his part. He's a Kabbalah follower, so he's right in there with the big clan overseas.
Oh yeah, he's been praising Saudi more than anybody. I think he's praised Saudi in more in 5 months than Obama did in 8 years. So I'm not taking up for Obama. I'm not taking it because I thought Obama did a lot, but I think Trump has kissed more Saudi ass than Obama did in 8 years.
They got money. They got money he wants. They got look at how much they gave his kid, man. They gave his kid $100 million fucking dollars toward her fund, toward her outreach program or whatever the fuck it is.
I mean, Trump cares more about Saudi than Israel, and that's hard to believe for an American president. I mean, Obama didn't like him either because he's a Muslim, but
so we can look at this as Trump is selling this country down to Sharia law. I've said it. I'll repeat it again. And anybody that doesn't see it coming got their eyes closed, because I guarantee you that's what they want. Apparently, that's what the new one world religion is going to be. Under the Jesuits.
The Jesuit Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to another story.
All right. Let's do talk about Yemen here for a minute here. This came out while we were on the air. It says breaking UAE Navy vessel hit by rocket attack off the coast of Yemen.
Sure.
Just like the one before, I guess. I don't know. The UAE's supposedly had a ship over their hip before, but I don't know. But, talking about UAE, talk about, Qatar over there, that's still building up over there.
We've got 10,000 people on the ground over there. You guys realize that, right? I hope everybody realizes that. I know everybody on the mic knows, but I hope everybody out there listening to my voice knows that. We have the largest air base in the Middle East is in Qatar. 10,000 is the longest runway that we've built in the Middle East. 10,000 people. Go ahead.
They're saying that Saudi's mass forces on the Qatar's border came out this morning. They've got their Air Force, their Navy over there.
What's going to happen when we can't get them out, man? What's going to happen when we can't get them out? What's going to happen when they can't get any more fuel in there and nobody around the outside is going to take any U.S. dollars for fuel? And what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We just going to let 10,000 people get wiped out?
Well, Turkey's moving troops into Qatar now. Pakistan's
don't like us either.
They still haven't. What's that?
Turkey don't like us either.
No. Oh, man. They'll be eventually they'll be out of NATO, and I don't think Turkey gives a shit anymore.
Yeah. I feel bad for the airmen. I feel bad for all those airmen out there.
Oh, yeah. Turkey's moving troops in. They're going to move up to 5,000 in there. Not at one time, but increments at a time. Pakistan's been asked, but they've kind of been on the fence so far with it. They've been trying to, be a peacemaker too in this. And I don't know how that's going, but
We'll get to that, QE.
The funny thing is this, you got Trump that came out on tweets against Qatar and stuff last week and everything against the emir over
That's
there.
what I said. That's why I'm saying that I feel really bad for those troops on the ground over there. Because they got nobody to defend them, man. The United States is not going to defend them.
Well, what was announced today that kind of caught me off guard is we just sent 2 Navy ships over there to train with the Qatari Navy. We're playing both sides of the fence.
Well, hey, man, they make big targets, don't they?
And so that threw me off there. And they're saying that basically, I'm reading this one analyst I follow, and he doesn't think it'll be a war over there. He thinks basically it's Saudi and America bilking Qatar out of a bunch of money. And that basically, telling them that I don't know.
They got more oil under the ground than Saudi Arabia does.
Yeah.
So's Brazil.
They say that basically this is a military-industrial complex where we're basically, going to start telling Qatar, try to sell them defensive weapons here real soon and everything too.
Okay.
Saying, you need this in case
Put some more
Saudi
THAADs
decides
on the
to
ground.
attack.
Yeah, put some more THAADs on the ground, just like we did over in South Korea.
But the emir of Qatar has been going to Putin. He's met with, he's talked with Putin. He's met with Putin the past week, and he's running toward Russia now.
Smart boy.
Yeah, it's getting to be that way. I hate to say it for me, but
okay. Let's jump over real quick to a question in the room. QE says, speaking of people on the ground, what's up with the U.S. soldiers assisting in the Philippines? We've got special forces on the ground in the Philippines now. For some reason, with you got
ISIS. We're supposed to be rounding up ISIS.
Okay. You got some poop on that, Lori? You got a story on that?
Yeah, poop on it. They're just sending our guys over there to die to do their fucking dirty work. That's all. Yeah. Supposedly, we're over there cleaning out ISIS.
They cutting a road for a new pipeline or something?
Yeah, probably. There's something else going on there. We don't just go to the Philippines to clean out ISIS. They said, 17,000 people left when 5 ISIS guys came in. It's like, are you kidding me?
What? 17,000?
It was something ridiculous. And 17,000 people left. I read that 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Well, yeah, saying ISIS took over one of these Philippine islands over there, and all these people bolted, kind of like how the Iraqi army did when 12 ISIS fighters moved into Mosul. Same thing. That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Iraq army get bolted too when 12 ISIS fighters moved in. Over in the Philippines, and that scumbag Duarte over there, he's the one that came out the other day and said, that he's declared martial law on those islands. He's talking about making it all of Philippines just as a quote-unquote precaution.
Didn't he tell the U.S. to get the fuck out of there and went to China?
He told Trump to go suck dick and everything else.
So why the fuck do we got special forces on the ground over there?
Well, we've got a big Navy base over there. I went to Subic Bay into the Philippines over there when I was in Olongapo. And I was there for a couple weeks, 2 separate times. And then they kicked us out back in the 90s, or was it late 80s or 90s? They kicked us out, and they started going dirt broke because our military was keeping them alive financially over there. And so we moved back in. So we've got a Navy base open again over there. And we've got military cooperation with the Philippines to an extent. But the deal is Duarte, he comes out and says that it's all right for his soldiers to rape women during martial law. He comes out and tells us that, we're the assholes of the world.
Yep.
He comes out and says that, what did he say? Son of a bitch. What did he call Obama when he called Obama? He's son of a bitch, Obama. And then he went after Trump for a while. Then he went after the UN for a while. But yet here we are sacrificing our boys over there on this fucking island fighting ISIS over there, which I think is complete horseshit.
Yeah, we're not fighting ISIS, man. Sorry to tell you that.
No, and that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't be over there, or at least not our special forces. Like I said, our Navy's, been there for a while, but special forces, we shouldn't be over there helping, quote unquote, fight ISIS over there. It's none of our business.
Right.
But then again, we've got, what is that?
The son of a bitch has got good weapons.
Well, the NDAA gives us permission to go anywhere in the world without any country's permission, really.
Right.
As long as there's terrorists. We gave our own selves permission to go wherever we deem there's a terrorist group.
Sorry, had to do that.
We did. We deemed it. We gave our own selves permission to go anywhere in this world if there's a terrorist group. That's all we got to tell any country, whether they ask us or not. I guess Duarte's lucky he asked us because we were probably getting ready to move. We were probably getting ready to move in either way because of the NDAA. Oh, ISIS is over here. We got to send our guys over here now.
Right. Okay. We addressed that. QE, I hope you got all the answer that we can give you, which you did.
But who knows how long we're going to be there? That hasn't been said. We could be there for years.
No, the economy is not going to last that long, man. It's getting ready to collapse here in a few weeks, according to the Webbot. So, hope you all got your boots tied.
Well, don't forget, there's a lot of gold in the Philippines, just like Indonesia. There's a lot of gold.
Oh, that's why we're there. That's it right there, protecting some mines. Okay, next story.
All right, next one here. Okay, Russian U.S. military forces are now battling ISIS in Raqqa. We're on separate
more
sides.
ISIS. Man, for a little group of 45,000 cats, these motherfuckers are everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. But anyway.
And how many have we
it's saying
killed
that-
out of the 45,000? How many have we killed in rocket attacks and shit like that out of that 45,000? And they're
4
still
million.
They're still just
4 million.
everywhere. Yeah.
And every day you hear that the leader of ISIS, Baghdadi's being killed. He's just a mysterious boogeyman, man.
Right.
All of a sudden, oh, he's still alive. I thought he was dead 100 years ago.
He keeps
I've heard he's been
respawning.
killed 100 times already.
He keeps hitting that respawn button on his controller. We live in the Matrix. That's what it is, man. This is a fucking game. Go ahead.
But anyway, you got Raqqa there. This is the last hold of ISIS in Syria. This is their headquarters.
Oh, my goodness.
And so you've got Russia on one side, along with Assad, along with Iranian troops, along with Iranian-backed militias, Shiite militias. You got all them on one side. You got American forces, special forces. You've got the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, which is the new rebels that we trained. Instead of the FSA moved up.
Sorry, I just had to. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on, and it's the same fucking bullshit every single time. It's the same fucking story every single. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But they say that the FSA, that we started out originally training in the whole thing when ISIS began in 2011. Basically, they all bailed on America and joined ISIS and Al Qaeda and everything else. But all of a sudden, the FSA came back alive, and now Jordan controls them. So Jordan controls the FSA from the south. We control the SDF from the north, and we got a little bit of SDF in the south, mixed with Jordanian forces, American forces, British forces. But Raqqa here is that you got Russia and their gang on one side, you got us on the other. And Russia's no longer sponsoring the SDF like they were for a while with us. They broke away from that. But this is going to come down to America and Russia and Raqqa is what this is about. And because what's happening is that on that one side where Russia's and Assad's coming through Raqqa, they're hitting a part of the area that we've made a base at.
Yep.
And so for Assad to get Raqqa back, they're going to have to blow through us. And we know that, and that's why we put that base there.
Yeah.
To keep Russia from moving all the way through. So this is basically, you've got Russian troops, you've got American troops, and our proxy groups all just within spitting range of each other now. It basically is going to be a Mexican standoff in Raqqa. And, Russia's like, we're not going to let you through America to retake this town because you want it for yourself. And we're like, well, so we're not going to let you retake this town because then you'll have your whole country back.
Right.
And so this is going to get interesting right here. And you're not hearing a lot about this on the news, man. And this is deadly what's happening in Raqqa, man, because it's coming down to the last spot in Syria pretty much, main spot that needs to be retaken. And so, because they've already got Aleppo back, and that was their main city. Assad got that back. We backed out of there. And so I guess Raqqa is our last stand, basically, for the West when it comes to trying to take Syria. Raqqa is it.
Damn, man.
We just moved in long-range artillery over there. We just moved in. We've got I've heard something like 4,000 boots on the ground ready to come in from Kuwait, ready to be flown in at a moment's notice. So that's going to be dangerous there. So, whatever you got happening with Qatar, you got this happening in Syria too. The Mideast is just, it's already blown up. If it can even blow up anymore, it's fixing to.
Yeah.
But, this has been the end game for Russia and America and Syria since I think Russia came into it. And I think, we told Putin, I guess, we'll let you have basically Aleppo back, you and Assad, but you're not going to take Raqqa. And it's finally come to that point in time now where the face-off is happening.
Sounds scary.
Oh, it's crazy, dude.
It'll be like that. That'll be war number 4, right? I mean, we got 3 wars going on right now, right? That'll be war number 4.
Well, yeah, you got us facing off with each other in eastern Ukraine. We've got troops over there too, special forces over on the front lines by Donetsk.
I thought they were just training, though.
Yeah, they're advisors. It's like this one special forces general, whatever it is. I was watching this interview with this one dude. He says, "I'll tell you what." He says, "There's no special advisors." He says, "When you send Marines to the front, they're going to fight." He said,
Right.
"Because they want to fight."
That's right.
He said, "They don't go to the front to stand there and pick their ass. They go there to fight along. They train
they
the
go to
guy
follow
in
orders. It's not
real life action."
I'm pretty sure if they knew what they were there for, they wouldn't want to fight at all. They'd want to go home and have a beer, just hang out with some friends.
Yep. They said you can't stick a Marine in a war zone like that and tell him just to stand there and watch. It doesn't happen that way.
Right.
No, his rifle will discharge accidentally.
Right.
Well, look what they talk about accident. You talk about that kind of stuff over in Afghanistan where we just had those guys that got shot in the back by those troops we just trained over there. We lost 3 soldiers in Afghanistan the other day because they got shot by an Afghani soldier.
Right. Well, no, I thought they said that he wasn't really a soldier. He was dressed in a soldier's outfit and just kind of snuck in.
Maybe he was. I don't know. I heard he was a soldier that we just trained.
Might have been. Don't know.
Well, how come we got all these people over there and nobody's fighting? Why don't you just bring them home, save some money? We can feed them at home and put on parades like every other country does. The hell with this. I'm tired of hearing about it.
Bye, Lori. Lori just had to go. She said there's lots of storms, lots of lightning. Be careful, Lori. Stay safe. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Am I not right, Dave? I mean, when you think about this, you hear all these buildups, and then what happens? People get killed that are not even in a combat situation. It's like throwing lives to the wolves. We'll see how many they can ping while they're standing here trying to train these other idiots. I don't comply to that bullshit.
Well, it's crazy what they do with our military, man.
Well, if I was moving military around, they would be carrying live ammunition, and they would be accountable for the people they drop. Because if I'm not dropping people, I'm getting the fuck out. Quit wasting my time.
Well, what did Mattis come out and say yesterday? Secretary of Defense in a big conference he was giving somewhere that our American military is unable to fight a real war right now.
Well, fuck, if you don't shoot nobody, I guess you are.
He's like, I didn't think, you could tell he was, and then I like Mattis. He's a good guy, but he's part of the game too, But it's for a war, a war guy
he's really good at getting other people's kids killed. That's the only thing he's good at doing.
I just can't believe he'd come out and say that our military is not ready to fight any major wars right now. And he said, we're in trouble because you got all these hot spots that are breaking out according to him, but our guys are unable to fight because of low morale, not being trained good enough. He said the training's really lacking in our military.
Aim and shoot. Train what? Aim and shoot.
They've been
that
thinned
fucker
out.
looks like he's a bad guy. Shoot him. Let the Lord sort it out. That's the way the Marines see it. Kill every fucking one of them. Let the Lord sort it out. The Marine Corps call.
But for him to say that, and he says for different reasons. He said financially our militaries fell apart. He says morally our militaries fell apart. This is the end of an empire, is what you see here, man. When you're military and everything just degrades, and that's our biggest deficit is our military, man. We've sunk a lot of money in our military for it just to end up like this now.
Right.
So we got this big general out here spouting this shit to the world. Our military ain't worth a shit.
Right.
We might as well come home because I tell you, it ain't looking good for our guys.
I've been saying that for a while, though, man. Our military ain't been worth a shit for a while. That's why they're trying to take everything autonomous so that they don't have to rely on a human being being on the other end of that weapon. They've got autonomous systems. They can just go around and do whatever they program the computers to tell them to do. So, and the morale, that's why the morale's so fucking low. They know. These cats are walking around with fucking robots next to them now. 6 guys go out on a patrol, they got a fucking machine following them everywhere they go.
Well, it's the truth.
Machine, that machine's got an electronic signature every time it turns on, and it can be tracked, and it can be it can be assigned to a fucking weapon system of somebody else's, and it's like a big fucking target following them around on 6 wheels. That's the way I see it, anyway. That's not whatever.
Well, that's the truth. You got it, Jim. Because that's why they're pushing so hard for the drones and all these mechanical men to actually fight the wars. What wars are they going to be fighting? Who's got the toughest robot?
They're going to be fighting to save the banks because people are going to be attacking the banks soon. Look at what happened. Look at what's happening to the economy, man. Let's roll this thing down another rabbit hole. It's 9:00. We'll go ahead and take the show into the USA direction instead of talking about the Middle East. Let's pull up some USA stories. Let's talk about what's happening here because it's coming faster than anybody even knows. There's things that are happening. Where's Lance? Come on, Lance. There's shit that's happening on Wall Street now that's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Bank closures, banks getting soaked up by other banks because they can't fucking pay their bills, and business closures, and goddamn, you name it, man. You name it. So let's get into this one story, and I'm sorry Lori had to leave because she's the one that brought it up, but this is from LouRockwell.com. Are we nearing a civil war? President Trump may be chief of state, head of the government, and commander-in-chief, but his administration is shot through with disloyalists plotting to bring him down. We're approaching something of a civil war where the capital city seeks to overthrow the sovereign and its own restoration. Thus far, this is a non-violent struggle. Well, I don't know about that. Though street clashes between pro and anti-Trump forces are increasingly marked by fistfights and brawls. Police are having difficulty keeping people apart. A few have been arrested carrying concealed weapons. I think I saw other things too. I know Luke Rudkowski got piss tossed on him the other day and some shit thrown at him or whatever, and almost got his hearing destroyed by some ass clown walking around with a fucking horn. So I don't know. It's getting pretty ugly out there.
Well, I know for a fact that there's sovereign states like Texas, Missouri. I'm not sure if Kansas. And I'm not sure how many other states have already got silver and gold set in position to walk away from the federal government. They don't need that damn paper, that toilet paper from that Federal Reserve, a bunch of Jews. They've already set the money up. So they could give a shit. Let the government default, and we'll get on with business.
And if you're not watching what cryptocurrencies are doing over the last few weeks, you're missing out. It's a huge, some people are making big bank on cryptocurrencies, man. If you get in and out of different ones at the right time, you can, it's off the charts how much money some people are making. How much cryptocurrencies some people are making, but they can still spend it, right? Just like cash. So there you go. Let's see. The objective of this city is to bring Trump down via deep state media coup, and that's no secret. Few deny it. Last week, fired director of the FBI, James Comey, a successor to J. Edgar Hoover, admitted under oath that he used a cutout to leak to the New York Times an Oval Office conversation with a president. Goal, to have the Time story trigger the appointment of a special prosecutor to bring down the president. Comey wanted a special prosecutor to target Trump, despite his knowledge from his own FBI investigation that Trump was innocent of pervasive charges that he colluded with the Kremlin in hacking of the DNC. Comey's deceit was designed to enlist the police powers of the state to bring down his president, and it worked. For the special counsel named with a broad power to pursue Trump is Comey's friend and predecessor, the FBI, Robert Mueller. As Newt Gingrich said on Sunday, look at who Mueller is starting to hire. These are people that they look to me like they're setting up to go after Trump, including people, by the way, who have been reprimanded for hiding from the defense information into major cases. This is going to be a witch hunt. That's all from Newt, a guy named after a lizard. Another example, according to Daily Kos. Oh, jeez, man. Trump planned a swift lifting of sanctions on Russia after inauguration and a summit meeting with Vladimir Putin to prevent a second Cold War. The State Department was tasked with working out the details. Instead, Daniel Fried, the coordinator for sanctions policy, received panicky calls of, "Please, my God, can you stop this?" Operatives at state disloyal to the president and hostile to Russia policy on which he had been elected collaborated with the elements in Congress to sabotage any détente, and they succeeded. It would have been a win-win for Moscow, said Tom Malinowski of the state, who boasted last week in his role blocking the rapprochement with Russia. State employees sabotaged one of the principal policies for which Americans had voted, and they substituted their own. Not in memory have there been so many leaks to injure a president from within his own government, and not just political leaks, but leaks of confidential, classified, and secret documents. The leaks are coming out of the supposedly secure investigative and intelligence agencies of the U.S. government. The media, the beneficiaries of these leaks, are giving cover to those breaking the law. The real criminal collusion in Washington is between big media and the deep state, colluding to destroy a president they detest and to sink the policies they oppose. I'm going to leave that right there. The story goes on for a little bit longer, but I don't want to read the rest of it. You guys can read it if you feel like it. It's from Lou Rockwell. You guys can find it on my Twitter feed or on my Facebook wall. Your guys' thoughts on this? People trying to stab Trump in the back, blah, blah, blah.
I think, like I've always said, I think I think the deep state doesn't need to set him up. I think that he sets himself up every time he tweets something stupid, every time he opens his mouth. But I also think that there's been some shit made up about him, and I just don't think he stands a chance. I don't. I don't think he stands a chance. He might be around for another year, but
yeah, he's going to be there to bring this country down. When this country falls to its knees, because he knows how to apply for loans from banks and all that good shit. So, they want him in the seat when the dollar crashes so that he can try to hustle our way out of that. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to go, honest to God. You try to guesstimate what direction these fuckers are trying to steer everything in, and you miss. I miss all the time. I miss.
I was telling you about Qatar and the military, industrial them trying to suck money out of Qatar.
Yeah.
This just came out just now. It says Qatar signs letter of offer to buy $12 billion worth of F-15 jets from America.
Notice how we didn't sell them the F-35s?
Yep. But still, this is what I'm saying, that we're not going to allow Saudi. I don't think a war is going to happen. I think this is just to scam money out of Qatar.
What the fuck was the whole 24-hour thing, man? They gave him 20. You got 24 hours to do this.
I think that was just some bullshit someone started on the internet. But this whole thing, I think Saudi and America is just bilking Qatar out of money.
I gotta get my dogs.
I think it's like a mafia move. Us and Saudi just ganged up on Qatar and said, listen, give us your lunch money or we're going to beat you up. That's all it comes down to.
Well, the deal with Trump looks to me like he's doing it in a way that they're objective to, even though at the end both ways would have put us in the same situation. But they don't like his way of doing it, because I don't know what Trump's doing. Nobody knows. He already publicly said he's not going to express what he does, but everything I've seen he's doing has done.
Yeah, like I said, he wrote his book, Art of the Con. Art of the Deal.
Art of the Con. That was funny. Where'd you go? David, did you just drop off?
No, David's still here.
Oh, I don't hear him talking no more. It's like his mic cut out. David?
It may have. You there, David?
Uh-oh. Now when he comes back, he's going to be pissed because he's going to be like, man, my fucking shit quit working, blah, blah. He will. You watch, he will.
You know, this ain't the first president everybody's picked on him, but they're picking on him real seriously because it's so open now. We got so much quick information flowing and so much bullshit, and everybody knows the bullshit, and they can see through it. So, you know, it is it's a totally different time we're in, and Trump, I don't know if he can con his way out of this one. I know he's a professional con, but I don't know if he can con his way out of this one.
Well, I don't know, man. It ain't looking good for him. But David said earlier, I hope he gets back on here. David said earlier that they were getting ready to file suit against him, you know, try to get him impeached for whatever the fuck. You back, David?
What?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
What happened?
I don't know. Your mic cut out, man.
That's weird, man. I couldn't hear you, though, either.
Really?
Oh.
Skype's been fucky tonight.
I think that's what it was, man. Something on Skype.
Yeah. When I started the show, it just fucking dropped the whole call.
Yeah, I got lost. I had to change computers to catch back up.
Yeah. All right. So keep going, man. With your.
They just did an update on that one dude who was shot. That Scalise.
Yeah.
Don't look like he's gonna make it, man. They said that he suffered fractured bones, internal organ injuries, and severe bleeding after being shot in the left hip. I guess Trump just put out a message that he was just there, him and his wife, and said that he's not doing good, but to pray for him.
223 is no bullshit, dude. 5.56, 223, whatever you're shooting out of it, they're both hypervelocity rounds. There's not very much difference in them, just a little bit of length. But yeah, they're no bullshit. When they hit you, they fucking tear you up. Those things are hypervelocity. They're moving. So
just goes right through the hip into your internal organs.
Well, I mean, you got some major veins and arteries running through your hip bones. You know, both major arteries that run down to your thigh. And, you know, that's a bad injury. That's a bad injury. He'd have been in a wheelchair for the rest of his life probably anyway. So, who's the other dude, man? The MM guy. His name is MM Mark something. Marks or Matt Marks or fuck. I can't remember what his name was. But anyway.
Well, I know one of the guys.
He was in pretty bad shape too. He got hit like 4 times.
Yeah, one of the guys got hit was a lobbyist. He wasn't even a congressman. He was a lobbyist.
That's what I'm talking about. He was like an intern guy working for him. You know, he was actually there teaching them how to play ball. So, yeah, he was a lobbyist. He got hit 4 times, and he's in pretty bad shape, too. So, damn.
I mean, I'd imagine being in a real shooting like that'd be scary as shit, man. If you weren't, if you weren't a war veteran to experience that type of stuff. But even then, you never get used to getting shot at.
Most people don't even know what gunfire sounds like. They'll be like, "Who's playing fireworks?" Until the bullet whizzes by your nose. Like, oh shit! Or people start running and screaming. That's what happens. It's like the shark effect when you're at the beach. You get one guy running out of the water, flailing his arms, going, "Shark, shark!" And pretty soon you got 1,000 people coming out of the water at full speed. That's just the way it happens. So
I know the guy that was doing the video with his telephone. When he heard the shots, I mean, his ass was on the deck like that. Him and that dog.
He knew what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that right there is the quickest, smartest response you can do. Get low, get fast, and get the fuck out of the way and out of sight.
And his name is Noel Nathan, or something like that. Noel Nathan, the guy that filmed that shit. The one that I showed tonight, the video clip that I showed tonight. So,
let's talk about this. Let's talk about North Korea here. They released that one hostage that's in a coma, and
saw him get off the plane.
That's horrible, man. I just can't imagine what that guy went through over there.
I remember seeing him sitting in front of the fucking judge and whatever over there pleading his case, please forgive me. I remember all that. That was a couple of years ago.
And, they're saying he was in a coma for the last 13 months. And they said that he had contracted botulism, and they gave him a sleeping pill, and he mysteriously went into a coma.
Yeah, they probably beat him in the fucking coma.
Oh yeah, I think they beat him. I mean, they say you can't catch botulism real easy in North Korea. The water's really not treated, and they say it's a chance. We're not buying it. Our Tillerson, our Secretary of State, pretty much said he's not buying that.
Right.
And we're going to do our own work on him here. He ain't dead yet, so we can't do an autopsy on him. I guess it's going to be up to his parents if they want to keep him going or not.
Well, but I mean, he's here. They're going to find out. They're going to draw some
Yeah.
blood to find out exactly what's going on with him.
Yeah, they'll find out what's going on. I mean, I know North Korea doesn't have the best health care,
Nope.
but it's kind of, the story's kind of crazy. But either way, he's back, and at the same time, Rodman went over there.
Right.
And, when they're in our State Department's like, well, he has nothing to do with anything. He wasn't sent by us. He's going over to push sports, and he's sponsored by this pot company, potcoin.com.
He's going to go over there, and they're going to kidnap his dumb ass.
And he's like, he's not represented, but I don't buy that, because I think this is our last bit of dealing with Little Kim. I think that we're down to the point to the only thing separating us from war and peace is Dennis Rodman right now. I think that we've just sunk that low, because Rodman was a contestant and good friend with Donald Trump on The Apprentice. And so they've had a line of communication with each other when he was running for president, when he became president. Right. So I think that we're down to the end of the barrel here with diplomacy with North Korea. I think Rodman was the last bit of it, and we told him what to say, sent him over there and said, dude, this is what you tell him. And then if he doesn't go for it, then it's war. I think Rodman is it right now. I think that diplomacy has pretty much gone down to him.
QE says Rodman is an operative. Do you really think that cat is smart enough to be an operative? Come on.
I don't think that he's an operative per se, but I think that, he's got, for any American citizen to go to North Korea, they have to go through the State Department.
Right.
And when Rodman and those basketball players were over there a couple years ago, Kim just fell in love with Rodman, maybe in a gay way too. Who knows? But Rodman's a fucking
freak.
Shit
in the middle of a hallway in one of their fucking embassies.
Well,
man.
see, that's another thing, Jimmy.
Are you serious?
Is that he disgraced Little Kim the last time he was
right.
there.
That's what I'm saying.
And
when he gets off the plane over there, they're gonna snatch his fucking ass up, and he is going to
Little
be kidnapped.
Kim told him to get the fuck out, and he's been gone for like over a year or so. They haven't seen each other. Now all of a sudden he gets to go. He get on the phone? Hey, Little Kim, I want to come back. No, he went to the State Department, got a hold of Rodman,
right?
And they got a hold of the North Korean UN ambassador, and they set this up, and they said, we want to send Rodman there with a message. And so I think whatever this.
Yeah.
Whatever this message is going to be the last point. I think that if whatever Rodman tells Little Kim, if Little Kim don't want to go with it, we're going to go to war. And so I think the way that this hostage came back in a coma, that pissed a lot of people off big time.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a goodwill gesture by Little Kim to give him back. Little Kim didn't want him dying on Korean soil.
Yeah.
Little Kim was smart enough there. He's like, this dude's going to die. We don't want him dead on our land. We'll give him back to the Americans. Fuck it.
Right.
That way they can't say we killed him. He's in a coma, but they can't say we killed him.
No.
And
they wait until all the bruises healed, and then they let him come back.
Yeah, exactly. They held him for this long for a reason.
Yep.
This wasn't a peace gesture, because a peace gesture isn't giving back your hostage in a fucking coma for 13 months.
Right.
that ain't gonna make peace anywhere, man. Here's your hostage. He's pretty much dead, but here you go.
Right.
And so, like I said, I think this Rodman thing was a thing set up. Like I said, I don't think Rodman's an asset per se, but I think that they knew that they could use him for something. They probably paid him a lot of fucking money, because Rodman hasn't done shit in how many years. I'm sure most of his money's gone. So I'm sure the CIA, State Department hit him up and said, "Listen, we'll make amends between you and Little Kim. We'll tell the UN ambassador to allow you over there, and we'll give you all this money to go over there. We'll give you $5 million, and hopefully you don't come back. But if you do, you'll have $5 million. I mean, it probably wouldn't break our government's heart if they kidnap Rodman over there. I'm sure Rodman knows the risk he's taking, or he's just, I don't think he's as stupid as he comes off.
Yeah, but he's so coked out of his head, he don't care.
Oh, yeah, he's just been in rehab in and out $1 million.
Right.
You know, but for some reason, Little Kim just has a hard on for this guy. Maybe literally. Maybe they go over there and get it on. Maybe they had like a lover spat when he left. Robin's a freak like that, man. I'm sure he'd go for it.
All right, what else you want to talk about, man?
This story came out today. It says Iranian missile boats trains laser on U.S. helicopter in Strait of Hormuz.
Uh-oh.
It says the U.S. military labeled the actions of an Iranian vessel unsafe and unprofessional after it trained a laser on a U.S. helicopter Tuesday. And it says 3 U.S. naval ships and a U.S. Marine Corps CH-53E helicopter.
Man, we were just testing our ranging software. Chill out, man.
Had an unsafe and unprofessional interaction with an Iranian Navy vessel while transiting the international waters of the Straits of Hormuz. It says the amphibious assault ship USS Bataan, a guided missile destroyer USS Cole, and a dry cargo ship USNS Washington Chambers were traveling through the strait when an Iranian vessel approached the U.S. ships coming within 800 yards of the Bataan.
Wait. Stop.
Yep.
The USS Bataan and the USS Cole.
Yep.
Both of those ships have been in dry dock for repairs in the last 5 years.
Yep.
Because they were previously attacked and punctured. I know the Cole had a huge fucking hole in the side of it. I think several crew members died in that one.
Yeah, from Yemen.
Yeah. That's just kind of strange that both of those boats are involved in this. Go ahead.
But anyway, it says, during the encounter, the Iranian vessel trained a spotlight on the Cole and Bataan, scanning the ship from bow to stern. It says no warning shots were fired during the encounter. The Iranian sailors also shined a laser on the CH-53E helicopter that was accompanying the formation of U.S. ships, according to the statement. It says Irvin said the use of a laser made the encounter unsafe and unprofessional. And it says a separate U.S. defense official said that the Iranian vessel was a missile boat and that the use of the Iranian laser was detected by the helicopter, which proceeded to fire off lasers as part of its automatic defense measures. It says illuminating helicopters with lasers is not as dangerous as it creates a navigational hazard that can impair vision and can be disorientating to pilots using night vision goggles. So that went down yesterday.
You really believe that story? I know you're reading that story, but I'll tell you what, if Iran wanted to fuck with them, they'd fuck with them. They wouldn't sit there and play some kind of, well, that's not very politically correct, you're shining a light on us. No, they'd blow them the fuck out of the air, they'd sink the 2 ships that somebody else has already blown the hell out of, and get it on. No, I ain't buying that story. That's another bullshit story.
Well, see,
it's a setup for both one of those boats to go to the bottom. You know what I mean? That's what hits my mind. Is the first thing, as soon as you said the Cole, I was like, wow, that boat's been seriously damaged before, man. They probably wouldn't mind sinking that motherfucker and getting the insurance payout on it. It just makes me think, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just the way my mind works nowadays, man. You get plastered with so much bullshit all the time that now everything I run across, I look at it and go, that's bullshit. Until somebody proves it otherwise, you know?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how in the world the American people can honestly believe the rest of the world thinks like we do. Hey, they're going to fuck you up because we have been fucking them up. You know, this ain't been no tit for tat. We've been fucking them up, blowing them up.
Right.
You don't think Iran ain't going to blow somebody up if they're in the way and they intend to? They're not going to, by mistake, do something like that. No, they're going to fuck you up.
I'm telling you what, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
What gets me, is, back to last year when Iran captured our sailors over there. When,
put them on their knees.
I was in the Persian Gulf. I was in the Persian Gulf in the 80s when Iraq and Iran were fighting each other. And like I've stated, we were escorting oil tankers in and out. And, of course, we'd get fucked with because we were in between a war between Iraq and Iran. We were constantly getting shot at over there. But the deal is this, is that our military has no more umph. Trump talked all this stuff, how he wasn't going to take anybody's shit. He wouldn't, he's going to try to keep us out of wars, but he wasn't going to take anybody's shit at the same time. Iran has been fucking with us You know, and I understand the 70s overthrow of the Shah and all this. I get that. And I'm not trying to sound like a statist here because I'm not. But Iran has fucked with us repeatedly for decades now, and we've done nothing but sit there and let them fucking do it. And the question is, Trump came in all tough that he wasn't going to let nations push us around anymore. Iran has fucked with us numerous times since Trump's been president, and Trump hasn't done a goddamn thing.
Well, that was Iran that jumped on them sailors and imprisoned them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Their pants. Yeah. What the fuck? They had guns. They couldn't even fire back. They couldn't fight back. They would have fought to the death.
And Trump said he was going to change that our soldiers would. And he hasn't. He hasn't changed it. It's the Obama policy still of appeasing Iran. It's the Obama policy.
So if we're to believe this story you just read, not that you just read it, you know, I know you're just reading it. But if we're to believe that, Trump, where's your fucking backfire on this shit, dumbass? I mean, they're already fucking checkmating your ass again. Oh, yeah, you're going to make us great again. We're not going to lose another fucking war. What a lying sack of fucking shit.
He's playing his part, man. I don't even get upset at it no more. There ain't no sense in getting upset at it anymore. They're just playing their parts. They're going to keep pushing buttons and doing their thing until the whole shit and thing collapses down around their ankles because they expect that too. That's part
all of our enemies have been emboldened, and they've all been, especially with 8 years of Obama, they've been emboldened, man. And deal is Trump's come out all talking that he was going to change that, and in 6 months almost he hasn't changed that. Mattis hasn't changed it either.
A big fucking sack of faggots, man, on Capitol Hill.
Well, look what he did. Look at little Kim. Little Kim has checkmated his fucking ass repeatedly. I understood now that the aircraft carriers are moving out.
Yeah, the Vincent just getting ready to pull into Pearl Harbor on its way back to San Diego. I read tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing, Mr. Trump? You know what? That little fucking orange motherfucker needs to shut his fucking mouth, quit tweeting, and go back to taking care of business here. Whatever the hell he's able to do. And I don't think that's much. Maybe stack pennies in the fucking corner.
You know, that's what I mean. And what gets me, and like I said, I don't consider myself a Democrat or Republican. I you know, when it comes to politics, I'd look at both sides and I'd say it's all fake. But the deal is, where's all the Trump supporters calling Trump out and all this tough talk he had during the election and what got him into office? And he's not acting on any of it.
No.
You don't hear any Trump supporter calling him out for this shit.
He's just like Obama, except he's a different color and older.
Yeah. Yeah, he is exactly like Obama.
Doesn't do anything he says he's going to do. Nothing. Hope and change, nothing. This motherfucker,
you know, it's
nothing.
me off. He blocked a big veterans group on Twitter the other day because they were going after him, saying, dude, you're going to change. Where's all this stuff happening? And they were calling him out on his Twitter, and he blocked a Twitter account called V8 or Vet something. And they have over 500 million followers on that account, or 500,000, I mean, and he blocked this group.
Well, see, that's just it right there. Because, see, the real true patriots of this country, you, I, and other ones, and Jimmy, that have served, we can't tolerate this kind of bullshit from this man. He's making our country weak. He's got a general out there telling us our fucking armies ain't
Our country's already been weak, man. Our country's
yeah,
already
but
been weak.
we don't have to fucking... I'm not weak. Are you weak, Jimmy? Can you still shoot? I can shoot. I can blow somebody's fucking back of their head out.
Yeah.
And not think twice fucking about it. I'm just
But
saying.
the fight's not in my backyard
Yeah,
yet.
bullshit.
I'm not going to get all upset and twisted up and shit until the fight comes to my door. You know, when it comes to my door, then I'm going to fight. Until then, I'm going to live my life, man. I'm too tired of getting pissed off every fucking 20 minutes because I read a story. I'm past all that now.
I know, Jimmy,
This
but
thing
it's
gets
just a simple
going-
fact. We've got a president doing this.
Well,
You know.
he's not my president.
Well,
He's not my
I hope
president.
he's not.
So I don't listen to anything they say. I don't listen to any of their fucking rules and regulations. I live my life the way I live my life.
I
And I'm
listen
not
to
gonna
it so
let
I
it
can
get
call
to-
him out on it just because.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I
like,
appreciate all that too, and I try to do all that too. But I'm not going to get all twisted up about it anymore. I'm just not.
I'm not twisted up about it. It's just, you know, you need to call out hypocrisy when it's out there, no matter who it is.
Absolutely.
How many Marines and troops have we got overseas are in dangerous way because of these stupid fucking people?
They can
You know
fight
what I
their
mean?
way home, man.
That's what my ass.
They got to fight their way home. I've been telling them that for 6 years, man. If you guys really want to do something for your country, Bring your guns and yourselves back home and protect your family. I've been saying that since Obama got into office.
There you go, Jimmy.
So
That's
the only thing they can do. That's the only thing they can do. Because they're not fighting a war. They're fighting for the banks. It's just that simple. It's been that way for 100 years, man. And it needs to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is when they stop fighting. You know what I mean? The wars will stop when the troops stop shooting at each other. That's the only time it's ever going to stop. You cannot change a system from within the system. You have to make a new system that makes the old one obsolete. You can't change it from within. All these people that are running for Congress thinking they're going to make a difference, they don't make a fucking bit of difference because they get their ass handed to them as soon as they get to Capitol Hill.
Well, I guarantee you, I'm not going to apologize for being pissed off at this fucking president. And anybody,
No,
that
I'm not
doesn't
expecting you to be
fucking what I'm
apologizing.
saying,
I'm
they
just
can go
telling you.
fuck themselves.
You do a whole lot better for your blood pressure if you just let it go. You know, make a video about it, get pissed off for about 10 minutes, and then wash it off, man.
That's exactly what I do, Jimmy.
Right on.
You know, I've got a 308 sitting right next to me and 2 boxes of fucking ammunition and clips. I'm ready for anybody that wants to fucking rock and roll with the old Marine.
You need to go out and bang away at some fucking steel targets every once in a while and get that frustration out of you. Makes a hell of a difference.
Bill, I go out there and dig in the dirt and delicately plant plants and watch them grow. No, I don't use that. I'm not a violent person until you step on my fucking tail.
Right.
Well, it's going to get crazy, though, because I'm starting to read headlines come out here. Everybody's backing this up, and it's like big old headlines. Trump under investigation for obstruction of justice. It's all over the place, you know.
Obstruction of justice. And what exactly did Comey do with the fucking Hillary Clinton investigation? That wasn't obstruction of justice? Come on, man. Talk about fucking hypocrisy. About hypocrisy.
Like I said, they're all scumbags, man.
What about, and what about the Seth Rich investigation? Let's look into something about that. Let's talk about that before we run out of time here in the last 30 minutes. Are you guys keeping up with that? The Seth Rich investigation?
I haven't lately. No? I see bits and pieces about it every so often.
Right on. Let me play this video.
You know, I know the DNC knocked his ass off.
We all know that, dude. Okay.
Whether it was Hillary that told him to do it or someone else, someone in the DNC did.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other things too. Why can't they get any information from the FBI or from the DC police about what happened? You know, the 2 cops that showed up on the scene, the first, they're supposed to have body cameras and they can't find the footage of that. And there's like 17 different buildings around the area of the shooting that had video cameras that were pointed in the direction of the shooting, and all that videotapes disappeared, and nobody can get a hold of any information to even do a story on the fucking thing. The kid was murdered in the middle of the fucking street. He wasn't robbed because they didn't take anything from him. He was murdered. Now, unless you guys are unaware, I don't know, I'll just tell you, but there's no statute of limitations on murder. So when the truth finally comes out about what happened to this shit, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to pay for it, man, if the justice system has any kind of bearing whatsoever. But here, let me play this really quick, you guys. Whoosh.
Page 2 now. The mysterious death of DNC staffer Seth Rich. A White House petition urging Congress to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate his murder is gaining steam. Rich was found shot in northwest Washington, D.C. in July of 2016. Police say he was the victim of an apparent botched robbery. However, his wallet, credit cards, and cell phone were all found at the scene. Before his murder, Rich questioned ballot integrity during the Election Data Summit in 2015, and this video just surfaced.
Several of you have spoken about provisional ballots and rejected ballots. I guess we've looked at, as an outside practitioner with a vested interest in training our voters, how do we get better access to data that tells us why ballots are rejected, why ballots are cast as provisional, so that we can analyze that and then develop better training guides?
Can one of the election officials speak to any work you've done with either the parties or other groups on that type of information?
Yeah, So from Denver's perspective, one thing that we do, and we do this for sort of the parties or any candidates that are involved in any election, we have a secure FTP site, and we post basically who's voted and sort of the status. And so if they have a rejected ballot, whether it's signature discrepancy or unsigned ballot, or maybe they had an undeliverable ballot, all that data is posted daily during the election. And then we actually also proactively send out, because we have to notify the voters if there is some sort of issue with their mail ballot. We also give the parties and the campaigns the exact letter that we send to the voter, so then when they do their follow-up and they contact the voter, they have exactly the same wording that we send out, so there's not confusion. So we've found that actually giving more information and being more upfront with that data with the entities has been much more effective for everybody involved.
Rich was investigating several cases involving the DNC's electoral fraud and voter suppression. He was also set to testify in the case of Hillary Clinton's email investigation. Now, there is a lot of pushback against those that are even talking about this unsolved murder, and there's a media blackout. You have to wonder why there's so little interest in the murder of Rich. Joining me now from San Diego, California, OANN reporter Pearson Sharp. Pearson, you're one of the few brave reporters that are even willing to go near this story. What are some of the challenges that you're having while investigating this?
Hi, thanks, Steph. Actually, the biggest problem that we've had so far in this case is just a lack of information. There's a lot of conflicting reports out there, and it's kind of hard to sift through what's accurate and what's not accurate, what actually is a conspiracy theory, and what can be trusted. And it's kind of surprising when you consider that this is someone who worked for the DNC at a very important time in Hillary's campaign and Bernie Sanders' campaign, and there isn't more trustworthy information. I mean, you had the police officers who were there, you had the hospital. There should be more credible information that we can use from this.
And you put together a 30-minute special for One America News on the Seth Rich murder. What are the, the oddest things and some of the most mysterious parts of this case that, that struck you as very, very bizarre?
Well, of course, first, police, everybody knows this one, but police say it was a robbery, and of course, nothing was taken. Expensive watch and over $2,000 of cash, I've heard reported. None of it was taken. That seems very unusual, the most unusual robbery I've ever heard of. Second from that is that the police, there were at least 3 of the first responders on the scene who had body cameras, and none of that footage has surfaced or even been reported. And what's kind of weird about that is that the Metropolitan Police Department regularly releases the videos, surveillance footage, body cam footage from cases that they're working on, unsolved cases. They've had a dozen in the last week, and they still won't even confirm whether or not that footage exists. The other thing is that it happened across the street from a convenience store, and we actually went there and looked at the place, and there were cameras, security cameras, pointed all over the place, and one was actually covering the intersection where he was shot, and none of that footage exists. That's really unusual, I would say, especially in a high-profile case like this, that no video footage has surfaced. The other thing that's kind of weird is that almost every person involved after he was shot seems to have a very high connection up the chain in the DNC. The first one would be Officer Wingate Robinson, who was one of the first responders on there. He was actually a student at Georgetown University while John Podesta was a professor there. And Robinson's sister, Nandi, also worked for Hillary Clinton's campaign as a research associate.
Yeah, and one of the things that I, found very interesting was, the private investigator that came out, Rod Wheeler, he said that, Rich was maybe the one who had leaked the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. And so that was, the big part of this story. But then he retracted his statement. And so everyone's like, oh, well, there's nothing to see here. This guy, he's just making stuff up. Well, he retracted it because the family is basically suing him, or they're going to sue him. So he had to do that. And if you were in his shoes, you would probably do the same until you could figure out your next step. But he exposed a lot of what's going on behind the scenes when he said that, the police department, the FBI, they're just not really working with him and didn't want to give out information. So there's a lot going on there, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to figure out exactly what happened there. And what's the reaction to your investigation? I know I've gotten some pushback, while a lot of people are saying, wow, thank you so much, there's definitely something odd going on here. Why would they just write this off as a conspiracy when this is a murder? This is a murder investigation, not necessarily a conspiracy, just a conspiracy theory. And I've also heard from Republicans and Democrats that say, oh, well, it's rude. The family said no, don't look into it. Why are you still talking about this? Why are you looking into it? So again, what's been the response to your reporting?
From my perspective, it's been overwhelmingly supportive. People have come in from all directions who want to know more about this and are just incredibly gratified that there are people out there who are still looking into it. I think a lot of people still feel cheated by the election results with Bernie Sanders, and they think that this had something to do with it, and they want to know more about it. There have been some people who have come out and said, it's disgraceful, it's disgusting what you're doing. But I think that's also an unusual reaction because it's an investigation, and if you're impartial in an investigation, then nothing is disgusting. It's just facts, and that's what you're looking at.
And right now there's a White House petition, and there are a lot of signatures on it right now. We obviously, they need 100,000 signatures. So where are we right now?
When I looked earlier this morning, we had 55,000 signatures on that so far. So we've still got a ways to go, and it seemed to be going about 2,000 signatures, 3,000 every day. So if it continues at that rate, we're going to come up to about 80,000 signatures on the June 18th deadline, which is well short of what we actually need.
And what's the reward total right now? I know that One America News has offered a $100,000 reward, and a few other organizations stepped up and are offering money.
That's correct. So Jack Berkman, who's an independent lobbyist, he offered $130,000. WikiLeaks offered $20,000. You had some independent YouTube journalists who've offered some money as well. One America's offering $100,000. So right now the total looks like it's about $500,000, maybe a little over. So you've got $500,000 riding on this for someone to come out with some information. And I think if we keep pushing on that amount of money, someone eventually will come forward.
And it's interesting that it's almost a lot of conservatives that are coming out and raising money. Where was the DNC raising money for information for Rich? And we know back, 8 months ago, it was WikiLeaks who offered the first major reward. It was like a $25,000 reward, and they posted signs all over D.C. Again, you would think that they would be a little more curious to know what happened to one of their, former employees or employees. And you're not done with your reports. You're still working on stuff, right?
Absolutely. Information right now is sort of at a standstill. We've covered a lot of what we can find out there. We're treading on some sort of sensitive ground where we don't want to actually put our weight behind it because it doesn't seem entirely reliable. But I think as we keep going, more things are going to surface, and you'll have people like Rod Wheeler who come forward. Even if they have to backtrack and retract what they said, they still give us some idea that there's a lot more out there that hasn't been uncovered yet.
Yeah, and we're hearing a lot from this guy named Kim.com. I'm still not sure about his information. I want to see evidence. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that, and I'm sure you will too. Thanks for your reporting, Pearson.
Absolutely.
So if you guys don't know about OANN, I guess they're some kind of new kid on the block trying to break into the cable news network business and all that stuff. They got a YouTube channel. They, they do different stuff, and they got a different way of looking at things, and I don't know. They're okay. I'm getting some.
Was this about the pedophile stuff? Is that what this is, Jimmy?
No. Seth Rich. Seth Rich was working with the DNC, and there's a pretty good chain of evidence that says that he was the leaker to WikiLeaks with all the DNC documents. And if that is true, and that's the reason that he was murdered, and the truth comes out, then the whole Russia tie-in thing is just out the door, man. That's the whole, 10 months that we've been listening to Russia this, Russia that, Russia this, Russia that, all the fucking bullshit from Hillary Clinton and all the, that's all out the door as soon as this truth comes out that Seth was the leak. So I think that's why everybody's trying to cover it up so bad. Anyway, your opinion? David, I know you've been following it a little bit.
Well, like I said, there's someone in the DNC that obviously knocked him off. But question, I guess, is who? I believe he was murdered. I don't believe he was robbed.
Oh, absolutely.
He obviously knew something. Just, like other people get disappeared in this country over things. Breitbart, look at him.
Yeah. And QE, I don't know if it was a cop shooting. I think that... This is my opinion, and this is just my opinion. I think that the D.C. cops that were quote unquote first on the scene were told to go stop him and pick him up and arrest him on some kind of bullshit charge so they could get him behind bars and have a talking to with him and threaten him with the what for and blah, 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 whatever. And something happened and he got loose from them and he took off running and they fucking shot him dead. You know, that's what I think happened. And now they're covering it up. But that's just my opinion. Because they're connected, man. You know, that one cop's wife was working straight with Hillary's campaign. So that's too connected for me. I can't look past that. I think that they were told to go pick him up so that they could give him a what for and you know, talk to him about the leak, you know, about the papers that went to WikiLeaks and shit, and then something happened and they wound up shooting him dead.
Well, see, it's another power move to stop people from deeply investigating things that need to be investigated.
But this is the thing. This is the whole point, man. All this Russia bullshit, they're leading us into World War III with this crap, people. And it's all a fucking lie. It's all a fucking lie. Russia had absolutely nothing to do with hacking the elections. There was no hack. There was a fucking scam going on, and Trump out-scammed them. And they're pissed. George Soros is so fucking pissed, that guy could spit blood. Somebody else's blood, probably, but still, spit blood. He lost millions on Hillary's campaign.
Well, that's why the deep state's coming after Trump with this obstruction of justice. You know, then if they can't get him for Russian collusion, they're going to get him for obstruction of justice.
They're going to slip Hillary Clinton into the fucking office? Are you crazy? Do you know what that would... Oh, my God, dude. What are they going to do?
Well, what's funny, if you notice, Obama's the shadow president now. Obama's been meeting with Merkel in Germany last week. He met with Trudeau in Canada the other day. They had lunch together. He's meeting with all these world leaders, man.
Yeah.
He is. He's every day on the news. He's in some other country meeting with the president.
Yeah, I know.
He was just with Germany. He was just with Canada. He's meeting some other people. He's the shadow government. Obama is still in charge.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't think in charge, but I mean, I think he's still running the show for the shadow government. It's the government within the government.
I full on believe
still got 30+% of the people in this country that would put him right back in office right now. That's the sad part.
I don't think
30%. The shadow government, is almost stronger than the government. We see it with our own eyes.
It is because they've got the money behind them. The shadow government is doing what they.
And Obama's leading that for them. I mean, he's getting paid by the Bilderbergs, but he's the president of the shadow government.
Yeah.
Which actually makes him more powerful than Trump right now.
One of our senators from fucking Arkansas was a Bilderberg. That Tom Cotton, Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, Republican, little squeaky looking motherfucker. Yeah, he was a Bilderberg. I'd like to send him an email, ask him why he was there. Why were you a Bilderberg, Tom?
Well, let me tell you something. Bilderberg, while that was going on, guess where Putin was? He was down in Antarctica.
Really? I didn't hear anything about that. Send me that story. I want to read that story. I want to see what he was doing.
Yeah, I'll Google that one.
Putin only gave Megyn Kelly 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, George, he handed her ass. Now, granted, it's a really nice-looking ass, but still, that woman has jumped the fucking shark. When she left Fox News, now, she had very good reason to leave Fox. She was involved with the whole fucking Rupert Murdoch trying to fuck everybody that was there with long legs type of thing, whatever. So she had reason to leave, but her time is done. NBC, she's going to get a big payday from them, and
she just did this interview with Alex Jones too. That's going to be on over Sandy Hook, and people were pissed about Jones.
Sandy Hook was a hoax. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, Sandy Hook was a hoax. You guys look into it. I swear to Christ, man, look into it. The parking lot wasn't even the same. The fucking school had been closed for 3 years before the shit ever happened because of asbestos in the building. Yeah, go look at it. That was a complete fucking hoax, man. So, whatever. I've had people come on my show I've had people come on my show and I've had people type in the chat, I know people that had friends that died, that blah, 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 whatever. Prove it. You know somebody that knows somebody that blows somebody. Whatever. Prove it. It was a complete fucking hoax. The parking lots weren't even the same. If you look at the aerial footage of the kids running across the parking lot, it was from the St. Mary's School or whatever the fuck it is. It was up the road about 1.5 miles. It's their parking lot. It wasn't even the Sandy Hook parking lot. So,
I guess I don't know enough about Sandy Hook when it happened. You know, and I didn't really get into that. I was really into my Mideast stuff. But
right.
The only question I got about Sandy Hook is that thing of that one kid's father, and he's sitting on the side laughing and smiling right before he was going on to talk.
Right.
And all of a sudden he goes to talk, all of a sudden he starts crying it just at the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
And
He looked at the camera. He looked at the guy running the camera. He's like, "You
laughing
ready?"
and joking.
Yeah.
You know?
That was Robbie Parker.
Yeah.
He looked at the camera. He looked at the guy running the camera. He goes, "You ready?" And then dropped the smile. Yeah. Yep. That was the whole thing.
That
was
threw up
fucking
a little bit of
staged.
a red flag for me. I'm like, and then you got people saying, well, people express grief different ways. He could have been laughing and joking and then crying the next minute. You don't know until you lose your kid how you're going to react. I don't think I'd be laughing and joking, though, with anybody if my kid just got killed.
The entire chain of evidence is online. The entire chain of evidence to Sandy Hook being a complete hoax is online. That's all you got to do is look it up.
Now, do I agree with some of these Sandy hoax people going around, going after supposedly victims' families and stuff? I don't agree with that. But I don't, but other than that, I don't know much about it. I don't know all the evidence out there. All I know is that Robbie Parker stuff's the only thing I've seen, and I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, I firmly believe the Boston bombing was a false flag.
Yeah, that too.
I firmly believe that. I've seen a lot of facts of that that don't make sense to me. That I just much hokey shit with that.
That wasn't a false flag. That was a hoax. There's a difference between a false flag and a hoax. A hoax is just a staged event where nobody gets injured. It's all play acting. There's a bunch of crisis actors that are brought in. Blah 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 blah. That's a hoax. A false flag is something that really happens, like the murder of the judge in New Mexico by the crazy kid that was all monarched out. I can't remember what his name is. Jared Loeffner.
Yeah.
When he shot Gabby Giffords in the forehead and turned her into a fucking zombie. Yeah, that was a false flag. That wasn't a hoax. That actually happened. That judge got killed for whatever reason. They wanted him dead. Gabby took a wound, so I guess she could be a Playboy doll for her husband for the rest of her life. Whatever, I don't know. But anyway, that was a false flag. The Boston bombing, that was a complete hoax. Nobody got injured. Nobody was murdered. Nobody, that was just a bunch of play acting.
The whole story in the Sornias brothers there just didn't cut it with me, man, because
all the stories about them, they shot him in the face so he couldn't talk and blah, blah, blah. And then he shows up in court with not a wound on him, man, no scar tissue, no nothing. His face is just clean and blah, blah. It was so blatantly in your face, man. The people still buy it too. Oh my God.
Then they had to execute his friend in Florida. And
yeah.
They executed that kid, and then the part that really got me is I was
over with a van.
Videos, but
they run his brother over with a van when they were chasing
this
him.
Is it. Back then, I made YouTube videos a lot back then, and I was watching that thing all night long unfold. Yeah. And they arrested his. They showed them leading his older brother off naked in cuffs and put him back into a car. Then they come out and said, no, he was shot and ran over by his brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got the video clip and I posted it of them leading the older brother completely naked and handcuffed into a police car. Not a scratch was on him.
I remember
nothing was wrong with him.
I remember seeing it. They had his arms all turned up high behind his back like he was some kind of, like he was going to break out of his cuffs or something. I remember seeing it, yeah.
And he was naked. And the title of that video, I remember today I put, who is the naked guy? Because the naked guy was his older brother. He wasn't ran over. He wasn't shot. They caught that dude, or they made it look like they caught him. And why he was naked, who knows, man? Maybe they raped him. I don't know. But his brother, if it, wasn't ran over and shot. And then to say that they shot the younger one in the throat and he couldn't talk, but he scribbled a big, long fucking manifesto on the side of that boat with his blood, I don't buy that either.
No. Nope.
You know, they locked him up, and you know, whether he was, you know, I don't know if he was an actor or whatever, but if he wasn't, they locked him up and threw away the key, and you haven't heard hide or hair from that dude.
Today, George, well, let's see, George says all the people involved got their mortgages on their houses paid off the following Christmas or some shit. That's right, George.
Yeah.
Everybody in Sandy Hook had their mortgages paid for. Yeah, you can find that in the public record. AK says today was a false flag. Today was a warning to Trump. That's a possibility too, man.
I mean, I kind of thought that too. You know, maybe it's a message.
Hey, the dude's from right outside Chicago, Illinois. You know, he might have been part of the Illinois Democratic thing. Even, you know, he might be trying to, you know, get all Obama penised. I love Obama. I wish he was back in office. Fuck Trump. I wanted Bernie Sanders.
Well, I'm sure Trump's pretty nervous now after this shooting, man.
I don't know, man. You know, they're trying to pass a law called the Covfefe Act.
Yeah,
that's gonna log every single tweet, email, Facebook post, whatever the fuck they put out on social media. It's gonna cover all the social media to keep it as public record of the president's interaction with the public. It's going to be like if he wrote a thesis, right? So in his presidential library, they'll have a big digital wall, and you can scroll through all his fucking tweets while he was in office. He's already gone through there and started deleting shit, but evidently they're saving it all. They've got some massive server or whatever, and everything's still there. Unbelievable. The Covfefe Act.
I can't find it. When I find it, I'll send it to you, Jimmy.
What are you talking about?
Putin in Antarctica during the Bilderberg meeting.
Yeah, please. I want to read that. I want to read that article so that I can. Not on the show. It doesn't have to be right on the show. I just want to read it. We can talk about it next week.
Kathy's the one that give it to me. I don't know if it's still on Skype here or not.
Cool.
I'll have to look.
Check out Scalise's YouTube channel, AK says. 45-second video on laws for child trafficking. Ooh. Oh. He's trying to pass a law against child trafficking? Like there aren't any already? Come on, man. Come on. You think he took a bullet for child trafficking law? Come on. Now, if he was starting an investigation into somebody, you know, like the whole Comet Pizza thing, I could see that maybe, because if that ever breaks wide open, oh God. But I don't know. You might have some. I don't know. We'll see. It's all going to play out here. I mean, evidently he's going to succumb to his wounds shortly. I mean, they're trying to play that in the media to everybody, right? He's still in critical condition, right? Isn't that what you said earlier, David?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he's pretty messed up.
Hey, Jimmy. I just posted a video in the comments down below here.
Okay.
You got to see this, how this is on fire in Saudi Arabia. This happened, I think, a day ago or yesterday or something like that. Remember Trump was over there making some deal with Saudi Arabia? You got to see this fire. They're saying they opened the gates of hell. I mean, if you don't want to show it on live, that's all right, but you need to check it out.
All right. Well, we're down to like 4 minutes, so maybe we'll put it on next week because it'll still be in the chat there for next week. So maybe we'll throw it up next week.
It's 4 minutes and 45 seconds long, and it happened June 12th.
Says correct. Look it up. Yes, I do. That's what it's all about. Him and Sessions. Yeah. Okay. We'll wait to see what plays out. If Sessions or if Scalise or whatever the fuck his name is, if he kicks the bucket, then there's probably going to be some serious poop dropped, you know, about what he was doing, what he was up to, you know, why this might have happened, why the dude picked him. If he's a Trump, if he's anti-Trump,
random or did he pick him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, if the dude was anti-Trump, why is he just out there whacking at fucking the Republican Senate? You know, and the Congress.
I think he was. I think the guy hit was just randomly hit.
Yeah. I mean, Trump wasn't out there playing ball. right? He wasn't out there. He's not on the softball team. So
I think this dude just took I think this dude knew he couldn't get to Trump, so he got to these guys as a message.
Damn.
That's what I think. If this was real, then this guy did this to send a message.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm
It's
displeased
gotta
with
be-
you, but I know I can't get to you, so I'm going to get to these guys.
For him to go sit in D.C. for 3 months and live out of his truck for 3 months? Are you serious, man? He didn't work. He was just,
No, they
he
said
was
he
just
didn't
driving
work.
around D.C., stalking people and looking at, are you kidding me? He didn't trip anybody's fucking wires, parked on the fucking side of the road all stinky and shit when he went to get his coffee in the morning. Come on, man. Seriously? He didn't trip anybody's wire? This is Operation Monarch from the word go. He probably had a safe house somewhere in D.C. he was living in until they tripped him. You know what I mean?
Probably was.
I just don't buy it, man. This story stinks. It stinks.
There's a lot of other people I see on Twitter that are questioning it too.
Yeah. Scalise was the target. AK's confident that Scalise was the target. We'll see, man.
I haven't heard anything them say it. I just heard it was random.
Hey, Vaughn, they want you to drop that link for that YouTube video in the chat there so everybody can see it. Everybody can click on it if they want. Scalise was
granted, that Scalise was the most important. That Scalise was the most important guy out there on the field.
Right on. What'd you say, Vaughn?
You'll have to do it because I'm not a wrench. I can't put it in there.
Oh, it don't matter if you're a wrench or not. You can post shit in there. You should be able to
okay.
anyway.
All right, let me do that.
Well, it's on every international newspaper headline there is on Twitter that they're going after Trump for obstruction of justice. It's all over the place.
Wow. I got it, man. I put it in there for you. So there it is. There's the video. Cool. Yeah, we got like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I had to open up YouTube again just to chase it down.
Right on. I got it for you. No worries, mate. I actually got it up here on the next thing I'm going to do after the show. So, since the show is just about over with, let me jump back to the live control room.
It's been real.
Yeah, man. Hey, David. I hope you feel better, brother. I hate that you're in pain all the time anymore.
Oh, it's bad. I fell down the stairs the other day, and now my left leg's starting to go out on me. That's why I fell down the stairs. My left leg's I can barely put any pressure on it.
Yeah.
My right foot's going out. My whole left leg's starting to go out.
I pray for you every day, dude. I pray for all my friends every day. So.
Yep, I'm always thinking about you. When I'm out there doing something, I'm thinking about you, Dave.
I appreciate it.
I know you're not able. No.
Oh,
Semper Fi, brother. Fight till the end.
All right. I got to do this before we go. I don't know why. I just have to. I haven't heard it for a while.
I have a pen. I have an apple.
It's something that I'm going to leave you guys with.
Apple pen.
And you'll be singing it for the next hour.
I have pineapple. Pineapple pen. Apple pen.
So you can curse me before you go to bed.
Pen, pineapple, apple pen.
You guys will be bitching.
Pen, pineapple, apple pen.
Because you'll be trying to sleep and you'll be singing that shit in the back of your mind. So there you go. That's what I'm leaving you guys with tonight. And with that being said, like always, everybody, love, peace, and cookies. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hug the kids, hug the wife.